It's the only one I could find that was just a small size bigger than the Barbie doll's husband Ken. Yeah. It's nice to officially see you guys. Hello, Valdese. Y'all are awesome. It took me a minute to actually get up here. I had to get my permission slip signed. My wife's getting tired of like throwing the phone book in and out of the car. Yeah. This is the same person that likes sleeping with the box fan on full blast. Yeah. If y'all don't know what that's like, it's like sleeping in a 747 hangar. Yeah. It's one small step out of the Shire, so I guess we're doing okay. Yeah. So my brain lags like a 2000s desktop. For those of you who were born either before or after the 90s, it still lags the same. There is no bug fixes. It's alright. Somebody had to read that joke to me, it's fine. It's alright. It took a little while, you know. So I got married in April. Woo! Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Some people are like, once you get married, like, you carry around a ball and chain for the rest of your life. I didn't use that exact analogy when I was, like, giving my wife a load of shit the other day, but it was close. You know, they were like, hey, you know, once you get married, and they kind of looked at me. Then I just pointed to my wife and then pointed to my wedding ring, and I was like, she like stole my blank stare. Are any of you married? Like married, in a relationship? I know a couple of you are single. So, like, if you haven't been around somebody long enough for them to pick up your blank stares, are y'all really together? Because like, I have ADHD, and the way my bloodline works, my father was born in upstate New York, or I'm sorry, Connecticut, like Tequipa Bay, wherever that's at. My mother was born in North Carolina, and I was born in Florida. So like, depending on how drunk and or frustrated I am, my accent changes. It could go from, hey, that's one of them stupid there hats y'all got, to, the fuck you spitting on my hot dog for, huh? Yeah. It's not very intimidating when you look like you're sponsored by Baby God. Just because I couldn't pass this up, and there's been a lot more vulgar jokes than this one. I was in a restaurant. I've been in the restaurant industry for about 13 years, and one of my friends, real close friend of mine, just happened to be Jewish, right? And I was like, hey, Mike, why don't Jews eat pussy? And he just looked at me and he was like, because fuck you, that's why. And I was like, wrong. It's too close to the gas chamber. I got that same reaction at my bar mitzvah in school. I heard my grandfather hated that joke though. He was in an internment camp. Poor guy, rest his soul, you know. He fell out of the watchtower. Shit changed.
Which side of the fence did he land on?
Huh?
Which side of the fence did he land on?
It's always heads. It's fine. So, being small, I get picked on for my size a lot. And I guess one of the most important things that kind of stuck out to me in my series of insults over the years is the fact that I've been told I look like Master Splinter.
Oh my God.
You know, I don't know whether I should be offended or like extremely impressed that I would even get, you know, compared to this Master Ninja. I've never owned turtles though, so I don't know if that's like, that's a thing we can do now. I don't know. So, let's see. I can say, like, traveling up to Valdese, it's been a long time since I came up to Valdese. for those of you who didn't know, there's apparently a training headquarters in Valdese for corrections officers, and they go through this whole series of like questions that you're apparently supposed to lie on. One of the questions was smoking marijuana. They're like, have you before in your life smoked marijuana? And I'm like, no, not at all. And then later on down the line, they're like, hey, surprise pop quiz. I didn't read the instructions for that one. Apparently you have to use your urine as a final answer. Yeah. They were like, hey, you can come back in 6 months, try out this training thing again. And I was like, sure, we'll work on that. Here it is, like a year and a half, 2 years later. You guys see what I'm doing. Has anybody like ever ventured into the landscape business? Has anybody ever cut their own yard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the only thing I really, really enjoy more with the landscape business than I did with the restaurant industry is the fact that you don't have to deal with people.
Right.
Right. Because you don't realize how much of like how difficult it could be for someone that's never been in the industry. For example, have you ever been asked in your life what a butternut squash is? I have. But it also goes hand in hand with what kind of nut is in a butternut squash. I'm just like, hey, if you're intrigued enough to find out what kind of nut is in a butternut squash, that could be the wrong nut for you. I appreciate Levee for allowing me to do 10 minutes up here because Lord knows I have no idea what to do with more than 2.5. Yeah. It's like a toss-up. You could either be crying for the next 30 seconds. You could either be holding hands. You could thank the cameraman. I would just be upset that I didn't get to hold the camera, you know. I think there's a height requirement on those lines, you know. Yeah. I remember telling somebody one time that they were as smooth as crunchy peanut butter. Yeah, it took them 6 months to understand what that meant. Smooth as crunchy peanut butter. Yeah. For those of you who are not aware, crunchy peanut butter is not that smooth. Unless it's like 3 days after you've ingested it.
Oh my god.
That's not. What do you do when it made you fine?
Somebody had to explain that joke to me. It's fine. I still don't know what it means. I'm still like 6 days backed up from that experience. I feel kind of, intimidated when I order beer mugs and they're bigger than me. I went to a Mexican restaurant and they treated me more like family than my family did back in the last Thanksgiving that I went to. I'll tell you that story. So like I went home from vacation one time and parents were cooking some real awesome food. Some steaks, some other shit. It got to be close to being done and I was like, shit, this smells really good. Budapest is gonna be so excited. They're like, who the fuck is Budapest? I said, man, it's the capital of Hungary. That's when they stopped calling me son, and that's when I found out I was adopted. I still have yet to be invited to another cookout. It's ridiculous. Speaking of cookouts, I don't like the term cracker for some white people. I feel like I'm more of a crouton. I feel like croutons have more flavor.
They're smaller.
Yeah.
Maybe. Depends on who preps them, I guess. Croutons are at all the cookouts. I only say that because it could be creamed spinach. Crouton. could be cream corn. It still comes out solid. Never really understood that concept. It's like crunchy peanut butter, but with corn. Well, that wasn't the right path we were supposed to go in. I misread the whole fucking show, guys. I apologize. Yeah, I can't fucking read. Well, I feel like I overdressed a little bit. I feel like I should be in one of the widespreads for Sears catalogs.
Yeah.
You know, the only difference is I look like I could still be a sophomore in high school. And then you have other models who don't need a phone book to drive 2 hours away. But
Still have phone book?
sometimes. I carry a spare helmet. You know. And I only carry a spare helmet because I feel like if I carried Windex and an extra box of crayons, I'd probably be in prison right now. I didn't get that joke either. It's cool. I'm working on it. It's fun. So I was at work the other day, and I didn't realize how picky homeowners can be. So like, I was cutting this one lady's bushes, no pun intended, and like she had roses coming out of her bush, no pun intended. And like, long story short, I cut those roses out of the bush. There was like a big ass hole that said CPI. And I feel like CPI is like really coming a long way these days. Because used to, somebody would just pop out of the bush and be like, CPI security. Now they're hidden by fucking roses. That didn't make sense to me. That's fine. Y'all have been excellent. My name is Joseph Thompson. I am the creator of the Pine Skull Project podcast. You can catch that on Spotify, any major platform. Y'all have an excellent